What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you undoubtedly saw in the title and the thumbnail, because I'm probably putting all, I believe eight of these fragrances in the thumbnail. So I finally got the rest of the Reyane Tradition Insurrection fragrances that I did not have, including the Le Parfum that smells like Aventus, Sport, which has been requested many times, which is Aventus Cologne, and so on, plus 3 more fragrances from Issey Miyake. So we have quite the affordable haul in this particular video. So we're going to bust these open, try to get through them as quickly as we can. Stay tuned. So before I bust all 8 of these open, today's video is brought to you by the good folks over at FragranceBuy.ca. They have partnered with the channel to bring monthly content to you guys. Now, I did purchase these. These weren't sent my way, but there is an affiliate link down below if you're interested in checking out FragranceBuy.ca, and it also earns a small commission and helps support the channel. Those of you not familiar with FragranceBuy.ca, I've been buying from them for years. As a lot of you watching this have, they tend to get some of the newer releases pretty quickly at least a slightly discounted rate off of retail. And then their overall inventory library is just second to none. They're constantly adding new things for great prices, extremely competitive across the market, and they're just one of the best spots to buy discounted fragrances, no matter what price bracket you're looking at. Affordable, clones, cheap Middle Eastern, designers, high-level designers, private lines, niche, you name it, they more than likely will have it. So once again, check them down in the links down below, and let's bust these fragrances open. Alright guys, to save time, I busted the plastic off of all of these, and there will be timestamps to each fragrance in the description down below. And we're going to start with these Issey fragrances. First one I'm grabbing is Eau and Cedre. So, I don't remember the notes on any of these. I just bought them because I've kind of been on an Issey Miyake kick as of late. So, here we go. Beautiful woodsy looking cap, just like Issey Miyake L'Odyssey Vetiver, which new release that I'm a huge fan of. So let's give this one a spray. Based on it saying Eau and Cedre, I'm thinking a watery woodsy fragrance, which is kind of the case with the Vetiver flanker that I was referencing a moment ago. It's a watery citrus, juicy but not sweet, grapefruit lemon type of smell, more grapefruit than lemon. Something a little green about this fragrance, but not spicy. This is super easy going, super mass appealing. I feel like I've been grabbing nothing but easy to wear fragrances from Issey lately. It's a very watery fragrance, so having Eau in the name, Eau and Cedre, so water and wood basically. It smells just that, but there is a bit of citrus going on. I'm digging this one quite a bit. We're going to give them first impressions ratings at the end, but I'm just curious. Let me pull up these notes. So 2022 release, Eau and Cedre, woody, fresh, citrus, spicy, synthetic grapefruit, so it is grapefruit, cypress, there's my green, and cardamom. I don't get much spice, but I could see it starting to settle into cedarwood, cologne, vetiver, patchouli. This is really good. It's not special, just like the Vetiver flanker, where they're not special, they're just really well composed for what they are. I think the same thing about this one, Eau and Cedre, and I don't hear anything about this fragrance. Just kind of flying under the radar. Easy going, not going to blow anyone away, but if you like more mass appealing, easy to wear fragrances that are just great every day, casual, dressed up, work, whatever, just every day can be the one. I think this falls into that. Very much mass appealing, much more green than I anticipated. I guess I should have thought that there's a green hue to the wood on this cap and even to the color of the slight tone in the glass, but this is really good too. I like this a lot. A lot. I've been on an Issey Miyake kick lately, and it's because of stuff like this. Because I love a good mass appealing, like versatile fragrance. More versatile than mass appealing. I don't care if the crowd loves it all that much, just do I deem it great for most cases? And it's kind of what I think L'Odyssey, Eau and Cedre falls into. Okay, next, Wood and Wood. I want to say I've heard Justin talk about this one once prior. Shout out to my buddy Justin Copeland. I believe I've seen him talk about this one being mass appealing. Pretty confident that I've seen him talk about it, but let's see. Darker color to the bottle. Love the color scheme. Digging it, for sure. All right. Let's Let me slide the watch down a little bit. Let's give it a spray. Right there's good. Right on top of the wrist area. This is an Ambroxan fragrance. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, this is definitely an Ambroxan fragrance. Fruity. Fruity and Ambroxan. Not as much wood as you would think was something this color called wood and wood. You would think just a straight up woody dominant smell. It's there. It's in the back like a, not a cedar. There's a sharpness to cedar. More of a sandalwood creamy smell with Ambroxan and something fruity. Yeah, this is super mass appealing. This is much more of a blue fragrance than it is just a woody aromatic. So 2 things is my takeaway here. 1, this smells great. And if you have similar taste to me, you want this fragrance. You want Low Dissey Wood and Wood. But if you don't like blue fragrances, you won't like this, because this is very much the wrong color bottle. It is a blue fragrance. It has that shower gel, clear as day, Ambroxan smell. Something fruity that's not apple. Not like pineapple or apple. There's something, a sweeter fruitiness than that. Like a creamy sandalwood. Let's pull up these notes. I'm curious. Okay, main accords, woody, fresh, spicy, synthetic, and fruity. Of course it is. Elemi resin, grapefruit, and cardamom. Heart notes of Ambroxan, apricot, sandalwood, Virginia cedar. So it does have cedar. But 3 of the 4 heart notes are clear as day, even in the opening. Base notes of Haitian vetiver, musk, tonka bean, and patchouli. So as far as woody notes, you got vetiver, you got sandalwood, you got Virginia cedar. But the dominant stuff here is definitely apricot, sandalwood, and Ambroxan. It's a little bit of a spicy zest. It's probably the cardamom, but it's getting zesty. I like this even better than O and Cedre. Like, this is going to get a higher mark, but so far I really like both of these Issey Miyake fragrances. And they're so affordable. I forgot exactly what I paid, but 40 to 50 bucks a piece is what I remember them being. I like this a lot. A lot. I like this more than... I might like it more than Low Dissey Vetiver. And I've been singing that one's praises. This is maybe not as easy of a wear, but this is more of a crowd pleaser. This is more of like compliment getting stuff that's, ooh, you smell nice. This is that kind of fragrance. I really like this one. Yeah, I really like this. This is blue as blue gets. Low Dissey Wood and Wood. Okay, so for years now, you guys have told me to get this one. I know it's been around a long time. It's a bucket list fragrance. It's been on my want list for a long, long time. I've had it in and out of so many different shopping carts online over the years. It's unbelievable. But here we go. Low Dissey Sport. Love the shade of blue with the gray. That's my 2 favorite colors, gray and brighter blues. Interesting cap. So we're going to keep all the Isseys on one side. Okay. Love the knurling looking collar. It's a nice touch. So we're going to go right here. Paintbrush it a little bit. Give it a second. Citrusy spicy is what I get right away. The line on the cap. I like it. Love the aesthetic. Love the aesthetic. It works. That's darker. Very woody. This is way more woody than the Wood and Wood flanker. Way more. Leather? Labdanum maybe? Leathery. Woody. Leathery. But citrus and spicy. I've looked at the notes in the past. I don't remember if there's leather or not. I'm sure there's woods. This smells like plenty of woodiness here. More of a cedar wood. No sandalwood this time. Nothing creamy. Drier wood, spice, citrus freshness. And I want to say I remember leather in the note breakdown. It smells like a leathery accord. More supple than edgy. It's not a rough leather, but it's also not a super soft like leather goods type of leather. It's not a luxurious leather smell, if you will. More leather jacket leather. Sport's not the right name for this flanker. Just like Wood and Wood's not the right name for the other one. Oh, and Cedre. That's appropriately named. This is familiar, though. I feel like I've smelled this DNA, this particular fragrance. It's not better than the other 2 to me, but it's still nice. It's still nice. This is more classic meets modern because there's more masculine tones to this one. They give more of a 80s feel without all the herbs. Not a lot of greens to it. I like this. I don't like it as the other 2, as much as the other 2, but I do like it. Let's pull up the notes. I've looked at the notes in the past. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on that. Okay, tops grapefruit and bergamot. Heart of nutmeg and leather. So there is leather in there. Nutmeg. That makes sense for the dry woody. Well, nutmeg mixed with a base of vetiver and cedar. That makes for a dry woody spice for sure. So that makes sense. But there is leather. I couldn't remember if there was or not because, like I said, I've looked at the notes in the past. It's been a while. It's actually really nice. All three of these Issey fragrances are great everyday fragrances because this name will mislead you. It's not all that sporty. Zest, sure, but there's a lot more density and body to this that I think is more of a great work fragrance. Office settings, masculine, guys that are over 30. This is you. This is you. I like it though. Not as much as the others, but it's still going to get a pretty high mark. Let's move on to these Insurrection fragrances. So, the one I've been asked about a lot lately is Insurrection Sport. Supposedly their take on Aventus Cologne, and I recently added Aventus Cologne to the collection, so let's start with this one. So the only one I have is Insurrection Pure 2, the white bottle, the Aventus Cologne. Love this turquoise-ish sea blue, water blue kind of color. That's a good looking bottle right there. Hefty. I mean, these are so cheap, and I've got all the rest of them now. There's 5 more. So we'll give this one a go. Yeah, so I had a fragrance on here earlier. I washed it off because I had 8 fragrances to do, so I needed as much skin real estate as I could get. So let's give it a go. So I recently did a review on Aventus Cologne, so I'm extremely familiar with the scent profile. That is a orangey, ginger-heavy, woodsy, musky fragrance. Very spiced. Let's see what we get from this. Let me get rid of some of this alcohol. Cheapies tend to have a pretty strong alcohol blast. You know, it does remind me of Aventus Cologne, but just like with Insurrection Pure 2, it's not like it's a carbon copy. I would say it's a decent alternative just in the opening, because I do think Aventus Cologne when I smell it. There's something a little bit more funky in regards to this one, though. The muskiness here is probably the difference, because obviously it's not the same type of musk that Creed's using. I would say this is just in the opening, like 80%. It's not 1-to-1, but very much they were going for Aventus Cologne. I get that ginger tone, the orange. I get a little bit of orange to it, but it's not like as bright, if you will, as the original. But this is solid. I like this better than Insurrection Pure 2, which that's a more musky take on Aventus. But again, I think it's that same musk, got a little bit of a funk to it. Clean, but funky. Not bad, though. Not bad. Let's pull up the notes. It's definitely similar. I mean, for $20-ish, can you really complain? So here we go. Insurrection 2 Sport. High mark, 8.2 out of 10. Citrus, fresh, woody, aquatic, fruity. And it does not give the notes. So that means I have to go to Troll Grantica. Woody, earthy, musky. Yes. Yes and more yes. Aromatic citrus, patchouli, powdery, sweet, warm, spicy green. Mandarin orange and pink pepper. Vetiver and patchouli, musk and tonka bean. Makes sense. I don't see ginger listed here because there's plenty of ginger in Aventus Cologne. I think they tried to replicate the note with this earthy vetiver pink pepper combo. And maybe that's where the funkiness is coming in. Because again, this isn't spot on. Like, they didn't nail down Aventus Cologne. But they got pretty close. Solid effort for the $22 or whatever this costed. I think it's solid. I do. I think it's solid. I'm going to spend some more time with it. I'll probably... I'm moving in a few days, and once I get there and get settled in and start testing fragrances again, I'll probably work on a review comparison to Aventus Cologne to see if it's really worth just drop your $20 if you want an affordable alternative. I can tell you right now, this is not even close to as good as Aventus Cologne, but it's so different in price, it's unbelievable. So for the money, it's where I stand right now in this first impressions. Not too shabby. Okay, now, Insurrection Pure 2 Extreme. Another one that smells like Aventus, supposedly. Came with a card. Well, all right then. Let's pull the bottle out, shall we? So I do like that blue gradients. This is the best looking one so far. Yeah. I like it. Let's give it a spray and see what we're working with here. Okay. Definitely Aventus. Get rid of some of that alcohol, shall we? Ooh, this is much fruitier. Like black currant fruity. This is better than Insurrection Pure 2. That's more musky. This is more fruity. I like this. Yeah, this is way more fruity. Fruity batch. That's what people would say. Fruity batch. This is not all that smoky, but it's a lot of black currant pineapple is what I'm getting here. Like juicy and tart. Sweet but tart. It's not exactly Aventus though. But clearly it's Aventus. I kind of like the twist here. This isn't direct clone. This is more inspired by. This is better than the Sport. I like the Sport, but I like the Extreme. Pure Extreme. Yeah, this is really good. Let's pull up the notes, shall we? This is the one. Okay, sweet, synthetic citrus, woody, fruity. I agree with all that. It is on the sweeter side. Apple, bergamot, black currant, grapefruit, lemon, pineapple, and thyme. It's a very fruity opening for sure. Heart notes, Canary Island, juniper, cardamom, patchouli, vanilla, vetiver, base of amber, casmarian, cedar, and musk. So that's not Aventus's note breakdown. There is no birch. That explains why it's not smoky. There's no birch. There's no florals. You have your musk. You have much more wood going on here. Cedar, casmarian, vetiver. So that makes sense. The juniper brightening it up, adding, just kind of intensifying the fruitiness, really. Like this is... I stick with what I said initially, especially now that I see the notes. It's more inspired by than clone of. This is a twist and a turn that I like a lot, and this is the one to beat for me in the Insurrection line. This is the one to beat. I like this a lot more than I thought I would too. This is a good one, guys. This is worth 20 some odd dollars. Regardless if it's kind of smelling like Aventus, I would say it's like 70% walking the path. You know, there's more than enough difference here to where it's kind of, they were going that path, but they kind of strayed a bit. Very, very fruity. Fruity and woody, and I'm sticking to it. It's fruity and it's woody. That's the main thing I get. I think it's black currant, pineapple, apple, just sweet, juicy, tart, and then all these woods. Makes sense. Very woody dominant fragrance. This is beautiful. I'm a fan. This is better than Sport. This is better than Pure 2. This is the one to beat. Okay, we got some big shoes to fill. This is the Le Parfum. Different packaging from all the rest. It's got a special packaging. So this could be a banger. Could be a miss, but the Extreme is the one to beat. Pure. Perfume highly concentrated. They put some effort into this presentation. It's got a glow and radiance to it. I wish I knew what the oil concentration was. Does it say anywhere on it? It does not. But that's okay. Let's take a look. It has this kind of yellow glow iridescence to it. The bottles are sharp. I gotta give it to Reyane Tradition. Their bottles are cool. I gotta give it to them. But the Extreme is 100% the one to beat. This could be great. Could be a miss, though. You never know. We'll see. Okay, good spray. Give that a second. Supposedly it's highly concentrated, so it shouldn't be a whole lot of alcohol to wave off. Ooh, that's way stronger. It is stronger. I smell it out here. And it smells like Aventus. This smells like actual Aventus, and I got Aventus right here. I've been sniffing. I had Aventus on my arm last night sniffing on it. It's literally right here, so I've literally in the last 16 hours been sniffing on Aventus, so I've got my refresher, don't worry. This reminds me of Club de Nuit Intense Man limited edition Parfum. Right away, that's what I think. About what and what? It reminds me of the fruitiness. I get some lemon. Even if lemon's not in here, it smells like lemon. And it's really thick. You can tell it's a higher oil concentration. Thick, fruity, sharp lemon. Candied, but sharp. And smoky. We've come across a smoky one. There's some smoky notes in here. And a lot of musk. This one's got a lot of musk. Musk, smoky, musky, very fruity, and lemon. I think of the limited edition Parfum Club de Nuit Intense Man Flanker. Let's see if we can find some notes. Okay, so I had to go to Amazon to find a note breakdown. Okay, top notes. I actually really like the presentation of the way it looks here. Top notes of lemon, There you go. I'm not crazy. Pink pepper, apple, bergamot, black currant. Heart notes of pineapple, jasmine, and patchouli. Base notes of birch, ambergris, cedarwood, oak moss, and musk. I'm very curious on if that's similar because there's no rose, no vanilla. I'm curious if it's a very similar note breakdown to Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum because it reminds me of it greatly. Yeah, it's very musky. Ambergris and musk in here, so that explains why it's so musky. Birch, there's your smokiness. Lemon, pineapple, fruity. Black currant, a little tart, dark, bitter. Really good. Really good. Up there with Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum, which is my favorite version of Club de Nuit Intense Man. So this competes with it very closely. So this is immediately my top 5 affordable Aventus clones because this is more of a clone. This is more of its own thing. This is a little bit of Aventus, but not like this is a clone. This, they were trying to stick to more Aventus. The Extreme kind of walks a different path. Yeah, it's way more fruity. But this is really rich and really good and really smoky. Dark, smoky, I like this. The smoky batch. We went from super fruity to very smoky and musky. And the lemon's a nice twist. I like that. That's why I like the Club de Nuit line, because of the lemon, the addition of lemon. The Le Parfum, this is really good too. I gotta tell you guys, I'm loving this haul. Some cheap shit too. It's a lot of cheap stuff, guys. I'm just being honest with you. Cheap fragrances here. And so this is one that I've been asked about many times. This is Wild. I believe this is supposed to smell like pure Havana. So it's going to be a sweet tobacco. I've heard some of you guys rave about this over the years. I've never tried it. Supposedly this is everybody's favorite. We're going to find out. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. They haven't disappointed me so far. We're going to go up here on top of the forearm. Give that a second. Ooh, thick tobacco. Thick, strong fragrance. Very strong. Ooh, that does smell good. Very much a cigar. Very much a moist cigar. A little bit of fruitiness to it. This is good. Okay. I see what you guys are... Like, I have high hopes for dark now. Because, I mean, we're just... One after another. They've been good. They've been really good. It's sweet, but it's a little fruity. Is there fruity notes in here? I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I looked at this note breakdown. It's been years. We're going to look in a minute. But it's definitely a moist tobacco cigar type of smell. Very sweet, but robust and earthy. A little honeyed, but not a thick honey smell, but a little bit of a honeyed smell. Let's pull up the notes. Insurrection 2 Wild. Here we go. 8.3 out of 10 with 545 ratings. This is a highly rated fragrance with a lot of effort put into this rating. Sweet, spicy, gourmand, oriental, fruity. Okay, so it's not just me, because I'm looking at these notes and there's nothing fruity in the notes, but the 5th ranked accord is fruity. Glad I'm not hallucinating that. Honey and tobacco, patchouli, cocoa, and vanilla, amber, styrax, and French labdanum. Honey, tobacco, and cocoa and patchouli, all of that makes sense. But where's my fruitiness? Why am I getting a light fruity accord? Distinctive, a little cherry-ish type of smell. Cherry, but still chocolatey and honey sweet at the same time. This is an odd but amazing smell. I get it now, because I've never smelled it. This is a great $22, $23 fragrance. It is. Now, it's been a long time since I smelled pure Havana. I don't think it's spot on from what I remember of it, but it's close. It's definitely close. Obviously, I need to wait till the winter time to really get some joy and good wearing experiences out of this one, but it is a good smelling tobacco for 20 some odd dollars. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. Not a fragrance I don't like among these so far, and we're into fragrance number 7 with one left. It's another good one. Okay, last but not least, Insurrection Dark. I have these little cards on them. Here we go. Ooh. Deep red gradients. This is a good looking bottle too. The bottles are just good looking, no matter what the color scheme. Doesn't it look cool? I think it looks cool. So we're gonna have to go back to the Issey Miyake arm. We're going on top of this forearm. Sweet and spicy. A little animalic. Not as crazy spicy as I was expecting it to be, but it is spicy. It's not as fiery hot as I anticipated. And it's not really all that much spice bomb like I thought it would be. A little bit. But spice bomb's sweeter and more aromatic than this. It's almost like a syrupy spiced feel, but not like crazy sweet, but it's sweet. More than I thought it would be. It's not the same kind of sweetness as spice bomb. I think that's just so much brighter, and this is rich. It's not what I was expecting it to smell like. I like it, but it's the one I like the least. I like this the least out of all of the Insurrection fragrances, which we're smelling 5 of them here in this video. It's nice, but it's ranked number 5 of these 5 Insurrection fragrances. I thought the spicy one was going to be my favorite. I thought I saved the best for last. I did not. It is nice, though it's a little smoky. A little bit. It is nice. I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth between this and Sport, on which is my least favorite. But it's not better than Wild. It's not better than Extreme. It's not better than Le Parfum. Those are the top 3. Let's pull up the notes. It's not as fiery, red hot, spicy as I thought it would be. Okay, Manicourt, sweet, spicy, fruity, synthetic, oriental. Top notes are bergamot, elemi resin, grapefruit, pink pepper. Heart notes of bell pepper. Okay. Cinnamon and saffron. There's some spicy notes. Base notes of leather, tobacco, and vetiver. Really? Well, there's the culprits for my smoky nuance that I'm getting. It's either the leather accord, the tobacco accord, or both, or it could be vetiver. Giving me the smoky nuance. Could be all 3, could be just one of them. All 3 have potential to have a smoky nuance to them. It is getting better as it settles, though. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of these. This is quite the collection. These 5 together are kind of a complete collection. You have your Summer Fresh Sport Musk with Sport. You have your everyday, fruity, enjoyable, mass appealing with Extreme. The Le Parfum is kind of your heavy hitter, kind of the statement maker. Wild, great cool weather, evenings, tobacco fragrance, you know. And then you have this, kind of date night. This is more date night. Spicy, smoky, a little woodsy, sweet, but even though sweet's listed as the main accord, it's not super sweet. I think actual Spice Bomb's sweeter than this. And I think there's enough differences where, sure, you can tell Spice Bomb was probably the inspiration for this fragrance, but it's not the same exact fragrance. It's not a direct clone. Let's give all 8 of these some ratings. So, Owen Cedre will try to be quick about this. It's gotten way more woody. Way more. That watery tone has settled greatly. It's a clean, damp wood smell. It's nice. It's not as good as the opening, but it's a solid fragrance. I think it's very good. This is a 7 out of 10 fragrance. It's a really good release from them, just not a great release. So I understand why it's not getting a ton of love. You don't see it all over the place, but it is a nice fragrance. Wood and Wood, codename Blue Fragrance. The ambroxan's settled into its slight ambroxan woody fragrance now. The wood has taken over. That fruity apricot smell has toned back greatly, but this is really nice. Super mass appealing. If you're a blue fragrance guy, you'll enjoy this. I think this one's great. This is an 8 out of 10. I'm a fan. I like Wood and Wood. It will mislead you. It's settled into a woody dominant fragrance, but apricot and ambroxan dominate the opening of this. It's fruity and shower gel. It's really good. 8 out of 10. Sport. Been meaning to get this for a long time. Not as sporty as the name would indicate. Bit more woodsy, a little spiced. Dry, woodsy spice, but not overly spicy. I would say it's more fresh spicy than warm. A little bit of a leathery facet. Probably the most masculine tone, of like daily wear masculine fragrance in this haul. This is another one that's very good. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 as well. It's very good. I'm going to reach for all of these. I like every fragrance in this video. I don't think anything's going to have under a 7, to be honest with you, because they're all very good fragrances or better. Some just stand out a little more than others. But yeah, 7 out of 10. The Aventus Cologne, as it's known for. Not as good, obviously, as Aventus Cologne, but I think for the money, it's a solid replacement alternative. It'll hold you off. Now, obviously, if you get this first and then you get a sample or a decant of Aventus Cologne, you'll be like, oh, wow, this can't touch that. That's the truth. It's not even remotely close to as good as Aventus Cologne, but It's still a very good option at the low $20 price point versus hundreds of dollars for a Ventus cologne, even a 50 ml. 7 out of 10. It's still very good. This will probably be the one I spend time with to review first out of the entire group, because I need to deep dive it and go through a couple wearing experiences to really see, because I get asked all the time, so we really need to do further exploration into this one. But where I stand in first impression, 7 out of 10. Insurrection Pure Extreme. This was the one to beat, right? It's a great everyday fruity fragrance. There's a little bit of spice starting to settle in with some woods. It's woody, spicy as it dries, but it was very bright, fresh, fruity, sweet. I really like this one. I really like this. This is great. This is an 8 out of 10. This is really good. Really, really good. It's great. Hence why it got an 8 out of 10. This is probably the best everyday wear of the 5 Insurrection fragrances in this video. Kind of the heavy hitter, Insurrection Pure Le Parfum. Opening reminded me of Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. It still reminds me of that greatly. That is a personal favorite of mine. This is an 8.5 out of 10 grade. So this is the highest mark in the video because it smells pretty much exactly like my favorite affordable Aventus cologne. So I feel like I have 2 bottles of that. I got to do a side-by-side. We might have to do a which this or that, which is better video, because this is really close to that, and this is a little bit cheaper. I forgot exactly what I paid, but I think $30 versus limited edition Parfum is like $50. Smells pretty much like the same fragrance here in this first impressions. We'll explore further and do a comparison between the two, but right now this is the one to beat. 8.5 out of 10. Insurrection Wild, a lot of people's favorite. It is a beautiful fragrance. It is indeed a beautiful fragrance. I have to give it to you guys that have been fans of this for a long time, because I'm super late to the party. It's not like I just discovered it. I've been knowing about it for years. It's been around since the early 2000 teens. It's a great sweet tobacco. I get a little bit of cherry fruitiness. I get the honey, a little chocolatey tone. It's lightly smoked. It's good stuff. It's great. It's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. There's nothing else needs to be said. Insurrection Dark. The one I actually thought was going to be the highest rated fragrance in this haul. It is continuing to get better. It's more of a leather facet settling in. It's not as fiery, red hot, and spicy, crazy spicy like I thought it would be. Even looking at the notes, it's like, oh, this is going to be very spicy. It's spicy, but it's just as sweet as it is spicy, and then it's not super sweet either. They kind of balance, they round each other off very well. It's like there's no real star, accord, or note. It's all kind of just one blend together, one big sweet, spicy, smoky accord, if you will. It's very good, though. It's a 7.5 out of 10. It's very good. I just thought this was going to be the one that could potentially be the 9 of the group. None of them got a 9. I thought this was the one going into it that had the most potential for a 9 out of 10. But, I mean, 7.5 is nothing to scoff at for $22. Well, that was the haul. It was a long one. I'll try to cut as much back as I can out of this video, guys. We had 8 first impressions in this with ratings. So thank you once again to FragranceBuy.ca for the continued partnership here with the channel. Make sure to check out the links down below if you want to check out any of these. They're all super affordable. They're all really good fragrances. Nothing got less than a 7, and that's as genuine as it gets. And until next time, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Of these 8, what have you tried? I'm very curious on your thoughts. Let me know down below. What's your favorite? What's not for you? Let me know. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 8 in this haul and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.